A very warm welcome to the 2024 OECD Virtual Pavilion for the 29th UN Climate Change Conference. As part of our OECD Net Zero Plus initiative, this platform complements our contributions on the ground in Baku by bringing together the full range of OECD expertise designed to help policymakers deliver better coordinated, more effective and more impactful climate policy action. This year at COP29, the OECD's contributions focus on four main priorities. First, on our collective efforts to optimize the global emissions reduction impact of carbon mitigation policies around the world. The OECD's flagship inclusive forum on carbon mitigation approaches helps to optimize the global impact of emissions reduction efforts around the world through better data and information sharing, evidence-based mutual learning, and best practice policy advice, and through our inclusive multilateral dialogue involving advanced, emerging and developing economies. As part of this effort, we are helping countries work towards common approaches for calculating the carbon intensity in products. This will ultimately support the development of low-carbon goods markets while safeguarding open markets and free and fair trade. We're also advancing work on the decarbonization of industry, which accounts for as much as 40% of total CO2 emissions. The OECD, alongside the International Energy Agency, is honored to serve as the interim secretariat for the Climate Club, which was established during the German G7 presidency in 2022. As governments prepare to submit new nationally determined contributions in 2025, we are working with the United Nations Development Programme on a project called NDCs 3.0, which is a project that will show how ambitious nationally determined contributions, if underpinned by robust implementation and investment plans, can provide economic and social opportunities, unlock investment, and support sustainable development and growth. The OECD will host a high-level in-person event at COP29 with the UNFCCC to share more information on this project, as well as our work on the IFCMA and on mobilizing private climate finance. Second, on tracking climate commitments. Ambition must be underpinned by improved tracking of commitments and outcomes. The OECD's International Programme for Action on Climate tracks the evolution of action and outcomes towards climate objectives in OECD and partner countries. Its latest report, the 2024 Climate Action Monitor being released for COP29, provides valuable background to support greater ambition on climate commitments and implementation. Third, on scaling up climate finance. Climate finance will be central to discussions at COP29 as countries negotiate a new collective quantified goal that will be an essential component to building trust, transparency, and accountability. Earlier this year, OECD analysis confirmed that in 2022, developed countries provided and mobilized $116 billion in climate finance for developing countries. Exceeding this annual commitment materially by more than 15% is an important and symbolic achievement. However, it will be important to sustain this level of elevated support through to 2025, while also increasing our ambition for the new post-2025 goal. However, unlocking and aligning further resources for climate action at the scale required means increasing private finance towards clean investments and scaling up financing for adaptation measures. Existing estimates and projections of average annual finance needs for climate action in developing countries by 2030 range from $550 billion US to $2.5 trillion US. Fourth, on climate adaptation. The OECD Climate Adaptation Investment Framework, also to be released during COP29, will support governments in scaling up both public and private adaptation investments. More broadly, the OECD IEA Climate Change Expert Group is informing and facilitating the COP negotiations, both through evidence-based analysis and by bringing together more than 50 OECD and non-OECD countries to engage in constructive multilateral dialogue. As we head into these negotiations, I encourage you to explore the diverse program of events here in the OECD Virtual Pavilion, which offers an opportunity to learn about a wide variety of climate-related topics, and also the chance to engage with our experts during the live sessions. Thank you for joining us here, and I wish you an enjoyable visit.